Now, if you're wondering why I'm laying on the floor, because I have a challenge to do today. I have to make a life-size mummy, and amazingly and coincidentally, today is Halloween Day. So, we're going to be working on that. And the first thing I had my wife do was put down 2 pieces of white paper, and she traced around me. So when I get up, you're going to see some lines. There they are. This is the beginning of the pattern for the outside body that we're going to be making into a mummy. Let's make this. Show you what the pattern looks like very carefully. I'm going to be walking right on my own body now. Yes, the pattern and the shape of the mummy. This is where your arms are going to be folded up on your chest, so it really doesn't matter. And at first she didn't do the head correctly, but we have the correct size. We're going to be adding something very special right there. I'm going to show you now. Yes, I'm going to be using the skull for the creation of the mummy. It is a plastic polysynthetic resin skull that I got online. You can look up for any type of anatomical material on eBay or Amazon. You're going to see these. It was fairly inexpensive. It actually has the springs in there to make that out. So when we do the photo shoot, we can just Photoshop that out. However, it had to be aged. So if you haven't seen my tutorial videos on how to age skulls and other bone materials, you can look that up. So we're going to be laying it this way. You can see that there is a hole at the bottom. We're going to be running a pole through this, which is going to become the spine, and we're going to be building the rest of the body around that. Okay, so once you get your paper pattern folded back out, as you can see, I tried to roll it up here and it made some dents, but that's okay. Today you're going to use lots and lots of Scotch tape. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a large piece of cardboard. If you don't have a large piece of cardboard, you can always tape some pieces together. I'm using it's almost the same exact size as the size of the body that we shaped out. And you're going to need some garbage today. These are bags of just waste garbage that I had made up basically from my garbage can. All of this is just garbage and newspaper and other material. This is going to create the body of the mummy. Anything that actually has mass or size you can use now to become the filler, the inner organs of the mummy. You can probably see we can make a chest out of this. Here's the back and so on. Now you got to remember that we're going to have the skull up here, so we're going to need some kind of support for the skull. So that's going to sit on something. I have over here some empty milk cartons. I also have an orange juice carton, and we're going to have to put that on there first. But we're going to build up the shape of the body completely using this. Basically, it's nothing more than paper that we had thrown away and put in bags and sealed them. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to cut out our paper pattern of our body. Okay, now once you get your pattern completely done up, now we're going to tape it down to our board. So this is going to be the pattern to create the mummy out of. This is really cool. This is actually the same exact size as the cardboard, which I really think is awesome. We're just going to very, very nonchalantly tape that down. You can see where the arms are going to go, the legs are going to go, and the feet. Now, I discovered that I didn't cut that out. Okay, so this is where the feet are going to go over here. I'm doing all this on the living room floor. Usually I would do this in a studio. Oh, and by the way, save all your waste paper. That's muscle and bones and inner stuff that you're going to need. Alright, so once you get this all taped down, the next thing you need to do is cut the excess cardboard away. So we want to cut the excess cardboard away on all of our things. So now we have the shape of a body. So let's cut that all out and see what it looks like. I used just a pair of these heavy duty shears to cut the cardboard out. I didn't even need an Echo blade. Remember I showed you how I put the skull here in the post? Look at how that's going to go. That is going to be awesome. So now we're just going to pull up our bag of extra material to find out what that's going to lay on it. Look at this. Dang. Right there. Bango. This is the beginning of the beginning. Okay, so here is our mummy's outline. If you're wondering, yes, there's a tooth missing from this. The skull is gotten from a anatomical supply company in China. It was like about $27 or $30 for this. It was well worth the price. And if you haven't seen my other tutorials on aging bone, this was aged using the aging process. And then now we're going to build the body. One of the things is that we have the neck piece. I'm going to actually use a paper tube to make that more thicker because we don't want that to be so skinny. We want to have some connectiveness to the neck, and just building that up with a bit of paper tubing here. So if you're wondering how to make a skinny neck into something thicker, we're going to be using this. I may even put some wax paper and some other stuff in there to pack it up to make it more solid. So let's finish the neck, and then I'm working on the body right now. All of my bagged, pre-packed material is going to be used, and we're just going to tape it down over in either way and keep building it up to the right size of a body. Just a quick fill-in. You can see the skull is on here. You can already see that I'm using stuff to fill in the body very, very easily, building it up. And slowly, just putting more and more tape over this, we will create the shape. So if you want to watch me just do this, here's some folded up paper. Just use the paper here, put the tape over it, and build it up. Make sure it's the appropriate size, and we're going to be filling in the size of the mummy. Now you got to remember that mummies shrink. So basically, the full size of my body is not going to be the full size of the mummy. We just wanted to use this as a template to the size of the body. So then stop. Also very important, on the feet, I'm just going to slide this over. On the feet, make sure you have the feet sticking up. You've got to have 2 feet that are going to be completely up, because that's how a mummy is, right? Just like our feet stick up when we sleep, this guy's going to have feet that stick up. You have to create them in the appropriate size. Although it's not 100% finished, I wanted to show you this mummy's hand that I had created. It's fairly simple to make. All you need to do is use your hand, put it down on a piece of paper, get a tracing going of the size of your hand that you want to do. Okay, and then next step is to map out the bones in the hand. Once you got your hand traced out, I've already done this one over here, and I've mapped out the bones. By going online, you can look at an anatomical map of how many different bones there are in the hand. You just kind of draw them in where your knuckles are, from the size of where your knuckles are. That's one bone, the bone. You're going to put a piece of wax paper over this, because hot glue will not stick to wax paper. No matter how hard you make it, try it, it will not stick. Once you get this mapped out, you're going to use some Q-tips. Measuring the size of the bone, you can break them into size. Get them all put in there. I'm going to show you what that looks like when they're all done. Once you get all your bones in place, now you're going to heat up your hot glue gun, and you're going to start melting hot glue over each and every one of these, making sure that you put extra hot glue over the knuckles. if you have your hand cool, take it off, turn it over, you can see it just does not stick to the wax paper at all. And if you want to make the fingers bend, all you need to do is get some wire, some soft aluminum wire, cut them to size, put that here in the fingers. Each and every finger should have a bit of hot glue on them. Very, very easily you can create a bend any way you want to do it, shape them. And then once you put your paint on here, you'll have your mummy's hand. It's going to take a few moments. You just have to hold it in place while it's cooling. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so once you get your mummy's hand done, now with the wire in there, you can just very easily bend it in any shape that you want to bend it in. And what's so cool about this is that all you need to do is put a little bit more hot glue on to seal that into place. Any type where the wire's popping out, you just glue it back in. That one's going that way, but we'll move that back into place. We'll put some more glue on there. Anyways, a very, very easy tutorial on how to make a mummy's hand. If you're doing this for Halloween, this would be awesome. Okay, I'm using the titanium 901 white here, and I'm going to paint this up very easily here with a nice soft brush. You can actually going to see the transformation. It's just going to hide up all of the material and make it look like it's aged bone. You know, it's been ravaged by time. This makes a really cool Halloween prop, especially if you wanted to put like a mummy or something out on your porch, or for any prop you wanted to do. This is going to go in a photo shoot, but it's going to be so far back that you'll recognize that it's mummy's hands. If you have seen all my tutorials about how to age or distress something for bone, my skull tutorial, how to age a skull, you can check that out, how to make these bones look older. But this is basically how to create an ancient looking mummified hand. It looks just creepy, just really creepy. Yeah, two of them together. You want to know how to age this and make it look like it's flesh and something out of a catacomb, you'd use a burnt sienna number 18. I'm using an alpha color, just a dab, and a little bit more of a burnt umber. And I already have a really worn brush that you can actually see the bristles have really gone shabby. If you don't have it, you can just cut it into place. But by making a slurry of your burnt umber and a little bit of your burnt sienna, this creates a flesh tone. Actually, it looks like mummified flesh. Now, the first coating, it doesn't look really that good, but I'm going to tell you, when you start putting 2 and 3 coats on there, it really starts to come together. So just try a little bit more here. It's kind of a messy job. Everything's kind of messy in prop making, so not to worry. Not to worry. Just apply it. This is coat number 1. I'm going to show you both the hands together with both the coats 2 or 3 times. See, I'm just putting the toilet paper on there, and then when we mist it, it's all going to fuse to the shape of our mummy. And then tomorrow morning, it will be dry, and it will dry in the right shape. And it all fuses into place. Just let it dry for one day. A little bit of staining on our mummy. I added a few little doblets of burnt umber to the water as I sprayed on the 3rd spray, so it kind of aged it. So we're going to continue to do that.
By adding the head dressing to the top over here. This is now the third coat of burnt umber in a spray bottle. You can see how this has aged so well. We're going to let this dry and see what it looks like in the morning.
Mummy now on display.